Welcome, 8th graders. Let's jump right into today's explainer, where we're looking at a pretty incredible, quiet miracle. I'm talking about life springing up from absolute, total devastation. Think about it. A volcano just covered an island in fresh, boiling lava, or a massive glacier melted back to leave absolutely nothing but bare, scraped stone. It totally looks like the end of the line, right? But honestly, it's just the start. Today, we're going to see exactly how nature recovers and how this incredible comeback is quite literally hardwired into the earth.
But before we get into the pure biology of it all, we really have to look at this through the lens of Scripture. Isaiah chapter 43, verse 19 says, "See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it?" I love this because it shows us that God specifically designed nature with recovery, hope, and order built right in. When you look at a totally wrecked landscape, it's not actually static. It's actively renewing itself through a really deliberate design. So here is our roadmap for today. We're going to cover life from bare rock, meet the pioneer species, building the soil, the climax community, and finally, education, morality, and peace.
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, Life from Bare Rock, the Blank Canvas. Just look at the massive contrast here. On one side, picture totally lifeless ground. We're talking fresh hardened lava or solid rock, totally stripped by a glacier. No soil, no seeds, literally zero life. But then look at the other side. That's God's design for renewal right there. We get these incredibly thriving ecosystems naturally reclaiming the earth without humans lifting a single finger. It's an absolute game changer.
So scientists actually have a name for this foundational process. It's called primary succession. This is the biological process where life starts entirely over and a totally new ecosystem develops on lifeless ground that doesn't even have a speck of soil yet. Grasping this concept is absolutely crucial because it totally changes how we see our role as stewards of the earth. It proves that massive hope and incredible order can come from utter destruction.
Moving on to Section 2. Let's meet the pioneer species, basically nature's first responders.
Now, life isn't just going to magically poof into existence out of nowhere. God designed some very specific organisms to handle this brutal environment, and we call them pioneer species. These little guys, like mosses and lichens, are tiny but mighty. Fun fact for you, lichens are so incredibly tough they can actually survive the vacuum of outer space. No way, right? But down here, they use that superpower to anchor themselves straight onto solid rock where literally nothing else could survive.
So how do they pull this off?
Well, here is the playbook. Step 1. Those tough little pioneer lichens grab onto the bare rock. Step 2. As they sit there, they secrete these special acids that slowly, chemically weather and break down the solid stone. Then, step 3. As generations of these pioneers live and die, their decaying plant matter mixes right in with that fresh rock dust. And boom, that combo creates the very first ultra-thin but super essential layer of nutrient-rich soil. Without them doing that hard work, no other plants would stand a chance.
Which brings us right to Section 3, building the soil, the actual building blocks of life. Once that first tiny bit of soil is laid down, life hits the gas pedal and builds on itself. Check out this timeline. Over the next few decades, as more rock breaks down and plants decay, you get small grasses and shrubs moving in. And of course, they bring insects and small animals along for the ride. Fast forward a few centuries, and the soil deepens big time. Go even further out, 2 millennia, and now that soil is thick and rich enough to support massive root systems. That is when you finally get your giant pine and oak trees.
But I really want you to let this sink in, because we're talking about the ultimate long game here. Did you know it can take nature up to 1,000 years just to make a single inch of topsoil? It's wild. This whole process of primary succession can take hundreds or even thousands of years from start to finish. It takes immense patience. It's a beautiful, long-term, deliberate design that ensures ecosystems don't just bounce back, but actually thrive for the long haul.
All right, Section 4, the climax community, a stable ecosystem.
So what's the grand finale of this 1,000-year marathon? The environment reaches its destination, a climax community. This is a stable, mature ecosystem. Think of a lush, dense forest or a huge rolling grassland. By this point, everything is perfectly balanced and totally self-sustaining. Sure, nature is never completely frozen in time. There's always a little shifting. But overall, a climax community is this triumphant, balanced end goal where nature has fully won. Okay,
Let's do a really quick rapid-fire recap so you can totally crush your homework on this. First, what is primary succession? It's life starting on totally lifeless ground. Name a pioneer species. Think lichen or moss. And remember, their job is to break down the rock. How does soil form? Acid weathers the stone, and dead moss decomposes into it. Why does it take so long? Because building soil from solid rock takes generations. And lastly, how does this reflect God's design? It proves that resilience and recovery are literally built into the fabric of creation.
And that brings us to our final stop. Section 5, Education, Morality, and Peace, the ultimate takeaway. Because honestly, building a stable forest is not the only lesson we're learning today. This whole biological timeline is a massive metaphor for building your own life and character. Here in the HeroesmartAcademy Godly Learner series, we're all about intertwining biblical morality with true education. Just like that giant oak tree can't survive without deep, rich soil built up over time, your education isn't going to help you thrive without a rock-solid foundation of biblical morality.
There's a quote we deeply believe: education without morality will hurt. Think about that for a second. Raw intelligence and science, they're incredible tools, kind of like a seed. But if you drop a seed onto bare rock without the soil of a moral compass, nothing grows. Being smart simply isn't enough if you don't have the moral framework to use your brain for good, for healing, and for real restoration.
It's exactly like that climax community. When a forest gets there, it has balance and peace. Your mind is the exact same way. Romans chapter 8, verses 6 through 7, promises true peace of mind to everyone who keeps their mind spiritual. Just like a balanced, mature forest, when you ground your education in morality and spiritual truth, it brings a guaranteed, lasting peace to your life. So I'm going to leave you with a pretty heavy question to chew on as we wrap up this explainer. What is the point of being smart and highly educated if you're just going to keep making bad choices that hurt you and the people around you? It's your call. Are you just going to collect random facts, or are you going to mix that hard-earned education with the moral wisdom it takes to bring true peace and real renewal to your world? Keep learning, keep building up that good soil, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.